Are you excited to be here at my show? Hope you all enjoy it and have fun.
Hey everyone, it's Storm here, bringing you guys another First Descendant video, and I've got the build guide you've been waiting for, Ultimate Luna. She is out. This is for her Battlefield concert. I'm going to go over what skills are affected, which is all of them for her, and what that Transcendent mod does to her kit. Then I'm also going to talk about why it's important, the weapons you are using with this mod, and how you can increase your damage, maximize your DPS with her, and what reactor you're going to be using, external components, inversion reinforcement, as well as your Arche Tuning for this. This is going to be for a general mobbing build. I will have many more builds coming out for her, one for Purge 30 and one for Colossus, but right now I just want to focus on the base kit and what is unique about it, and then go over the build I use for mobbing with a few options in there. So let's go ahead and jump into her skills and talk about the Transcendent module here. So Battlefield Concert modifies your unique weapon into debuffs. So you're going to constantly be debuffing the enemy and enhancing it. It's going to do different things with each enhancement. So right here, inspiration gauge has a limit of 8. Your chance to gain inspiration is 40. So it is random which one you gain. Chance to gain inspiration on successful use, 30%. So that's when you are actually tapping the button versus just shooting. An inspiration gauge and note success for 1%. So you also can't be out of combat for more than 20 seconds or it will reset. So right here, you're going to hit A to start it up, or whatever, your 1 to get it started. And then you can shoot with this on beat. So if you're shooting on the beat, like at the amount the little emblems are flashing at the bottom, you actually spend no mana, but when you miss, you start depleting mana really fast. So this entry-level build is going to make it so you don't need to worry about that. So you can kind of just get used to playing her with a lot of forgiveness right away. And then as you get better at that, you can really just get rid of all MP collection for the most part and focus on mastering, which is DPS. So let's go ahead and talk about the rest of them right here, that passionate stage. This one, what's important as like getting your duration up is going to be great. This increases your skill hit rate and your skill power modifier. You can apply it up to 3 times. Earworm, so this is when you are hitting them without the enhancement on. Movement speed reduction slows the enemies down. And then if you do the enhanced version, which is when you have that fever time active. So once you use that, it gives them a stun. And then this one right here is going to be the one that most people are going to want to enhance, especially on big enemies, because it's going to give the damage received increase up by 12% plus. So that's massive. When you're just hitting them with it, it's going to decrease their defense. And then the last one here is going to be fan service, which this one's really nice because it also decreases their attack and its auto target increase as well. So this one makes it so you go from hitting 1 target to 3. So you're going to want to tap this one early on so that way you can be hitting more of them at once, which is so great. I think it's a fantastic thing. The attack decrease, not as important unless you went super glass cannon and you just need that, but otherwise you're mostly going to want to enhance on your 3 right here, so you're going to give them the big damage increase, but it's fun to use them all just so you have them all. Then as you notice here, during fever time, this is the same on all of them right there at the bottom. It's got the same range, it's got the same expandable range and the same duration, so it all maxes together, all has the same skill power and skill power modifier. That is going to be when you see that rainbow out in front of you, it's all that damage. So that's damage over time, and that one can be increased by the module right here, gap in time, just so remember that for later as well. So now that you kind of know that, let's go back and look at this one. So additional damage, firearm damage times 30x. So this is important because this now matters what weapon you're going to be using. So before we go over the modules, I want to go out and talk. Actually, we'll just talk about the weapons when we go over the weapons. So let's go ahead and just talk about the modules and why I chose the ones I picked. So a big important thing with Luna is when you click into her trigger modules, it's going to tell you the ones that you can use with this. But if you end up using these, and I did the mistake of choosing Death by 1,000 Cuts at first, thinking I was going to be spamming it all of the time, it actually only triggers when you turn your A on, and then it doesn't trigger again at all. So it really, unless you're going in and out of your combat, it's not really going to trigger. You're not going to get used to it. Gap in time. This is important to know that it's only going to affect your damage over time. So only when you are doing your fever time is when that is going to increase its damage. Otherwise, 0 damage increase. So what I found was the cyclic amplifier was going to be the best one on her. This is what I think is just crushing, and I will go over why. The main one that I'm using is all that tech skill power increase 40%. That's the only one you care about having up. So if you had this with all blues, but that tech was gold, put that one on, because that's the only one that you're going to be benefit from. And it's going to be 5 seconds out of 20 seconds, but it's still massively powerful and it helps her a lot. After that, let's talk about the modules we use. So we went into crit as crit damage. Whenever you're doing it, it's just so strong and you just get all of that damage out of it. So took all 4 crit mods, fantastic. Then if you are doing the build right, you're gonna have very few cooldowns or even have to worry about cooldowns. So maximizing power and maximizing skill just give you all that skill power and that skill power modifier for Luna. So this is fantastic. Now, here is where I'm making the build super safe for you as a beginner. And if you want this super safe beginner build, you are going to take these 2 mods right here, Stim Accelerant and MP Collector. This is just going to make it so you're killing people all the time. You never really have to worry about your MP, and your health is higher than going with no health mods, because I do have other builds where I'm using no health mods, and I'll go over them in just a second. But skill expansion, this is going to make only your expandable range for, again, your fever time bigger. So this does do a lot of damage, so you do want to increase it. It is super important to increase, but note that it's only going to be triggering when you are hitting that. Skill extension, this is going to make fever time last longer, and skill extension on this one is so important because that means you get to shoot unlimited bullets without having to worry about it taking up your MP for longer, so you can just be that Machine Gun Kelly, Machine Gun Luna. All right, so if you are not using that, you're going to come right over here and use my DJ mob. So, oh, I actually have to go turn this off to show you. So, right here, I want to show you this quick. So, oops, Descendant Module. So, screenshot this one. If you want the safety version, you want to feel super safe when you're doing it, you're just going to feel great. If you want to be a little bit squishier and you're going to hit all of your notes or most of your notes and you're not going to be worried about MP, come over here. This one I find to be super, super useful for general mobbing. It just keeps your DPS super high. Everything is the same except for you're going to have more duration and a little bit more MP, not as important, but that extra duration allows your fever time to be a little bit longer, doesn't reduce your skill power modifier like maximize duration would, but you're still going to kill everything anyway. So if you want really long duration, you could also take maximize duration here instead. Decimator, the only one that this one is impacting on that decimator, of course your other ones too, but like it increases all of them. But the most important one, you are shooting this one all the time on Luna, and the skill power modifier is actually super low. So adding that 50 X multiplier on her right here or 50 plus is going to be incredible. Your damage is going to go way up. You're going to notice it. It feels so good, and you're mobbing from one group to the next. So you can pretty much keep this up 100% of the time because you're always debuffing. This is debuff Luna. So this is a no-brainer. If you are bossing, you're just going to switch that out for dangerous ambush. So that way you're getting that extra skill power when you immobilize. Super effective. All right, you guys, so that is what we have for the modules. Screenshot this one for the boss, screenshot this one for your general mobbing. You could also switch this one out for critical point strike, or what else did I use? Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I like. Or the MP Collector, or preemptive strike is the other one that I use when I'm solo, but this one is more for when I'm solo or when I'm doing the purges. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have that in there just because it's going to hit them hard and do a lot of damage. But let's go ahead and talk about the weapons. Now, weapons are going to be super important on Ultimate Luna because they are impacting how much damage she's going to do. So right here, I took the sprint speeds. They don't transfer over, the mod enhancements don't, but I liked having it just so when you do take it off, you could run faster. The ones that I have down here, the weak point damage, firearm attack, and toxic, all of those do transfer. The Colossus, from what I could tell, is not transferring to Colossus as skill damage when you have your ability on. So I don't think that one's helping at all, but the other three are actively helping you. The other secondary mod that could help down there is accuracy. Will help, and will also help on your modules. So those are going to be the substats that I use, and then on your modules right here, screenshot this if you'd like. So what's important to know is that your firearm ATK with Luna is going to be increased by 30x into your skill damage. So you want to build into full firearm ATK. So I got that action and reaction on, I got that charge amplification on, and then I got my rifling reinforcement. The mods right here, the elemental mods, also work. So I have this one on toxic because this is going to be the one that I'm using for my Colossus, my Stormhanger battle. And I have on there the toxic enhancement and the poison priority. All purple and blue mods, from what I can tell, all work on Luna's kit. So they all increase it for the most part, except for crit chance and crit damage do not increase the crit of her hits, but weak point does, and elemental does as well. Accuracy is also included, so that's why I got that little bit of extra firearm attack and that accuracy, because it does help the accuracy of your unique weapon. And this is going to be good when you are fighting the Stormhanger, if you are going for those weak points, or if you are zooming in and hitting the weak points of enemies or the mini bosses. Does become more effective for you. Analysis Master special mods, this is going to reduce their critical hit resistance. I noticed that when I'm using the Secret Garden, that this Analysis Master really allows me to get that really great hit in while still having such a high crit rate, because it's always activating, it is working. And then Brisk Walk does work as well, so I see this mod pop up all the time. So this one is my favorite for mobbing. I do think, or I do know that from my testing, Piercing Light does do a bit more damage, but just for that quality of life, I really like to have that Brisk Walk up so I can move faster between mobs. So Secret Garden is my choice, but if you want that Piercing Light, again, you can go with that Firearm Attack. I haven't really rolled this one yet, but get that poison damage down there, and then you can also take on the, with this one, you get that Chill Attack as well applied to your hits when you're using your gun there. So that is what is important right there. But I want to take you into this while we activate her ability. And then right here, we're going to go look at this. So what's important here on the weapon, so you can see my firearm attack, my toxic attack is there. Shell capacity is at 1. You have unlimited ammo for this build, so it does not matter. Fire rate is based on the fire rate mods that you are adding. So you can have the same fire rate with any type of weapon as long as you have that 15x mod on there for it. That will be included, but the other stuff will not. Reload time doesn't matter. You're never reloading with Luna. The crit rate and crit damage do not matter. They do not transfer over. From what I can tell, the type of ammo, burst, does not transfer over as well from this gun. Attribute status rate does. Multi-hit damage does not. Weak point damage does go over, so you can be hitting a Colossus's weak points and seeing weak point damage pop up. Recoil, I don't believe the gun has any recoil, and if it does, it's very low, so it does not really matter. Accuracy and aim shot accuracy do come over from modules and from the substats. And then the attack drop-off rate and max range is the same no matter what you do. And it does look like that Colossus damage is popping up while I have this gun out. So maybe it does work and it just wasn't showing up in my numbers from my testing. But there it is. I will do more testing on that and let you know for sure in the comments as I get it going. Now I want you to pay attention over here. This is kind of moving through, and it's 0.685 right now. Now it's 0.285 with a 1.5. So this is that cyclic damage going through. So as you can see right here, it's really hard to get tech damage outside or inside your module kit based on everything we do. So getting it on here goes up to 0.685. That is a massive damage increase, because that, when you can get that smaller damage bucket up much more, it is just going to up how much damage you're pumping out. And that happens every 5 out of 20 seconds. So just a fantastic thing to have that trigger module on there for you And as you can see with this one right here, when we were in that safety dance, we'll have more HP with this one. This is one I primarily use when I'm mobbing around Axion alone, but safety dance, if you need that extra health, that is the one you are going to take. So there we have it with the weapons. That was like one of the most long-winded weapon ones that I've ever had to do, but it just is skills and weapons are affected. The fellow, you could use the MP one if you're running out of MP. I did find that the health one does so much more for me than I assumed it would. So I like my little Shepherd on, my HP revival. Then for the Inversion Reinforcement right here, I'm actually going to take this one off. As I did not mean to have that one on. I was testing stuff out here. But right here, we're going to take that off. And then I'm going to put this right here just for that extra survivability with Luna as you're mobbing around. This one, getting that defeated enemy or defeating enemies all the time, keeping that skill cost down just in case you're hitting notes off. You don't want to be running out of MP. Right here, that pain suppression, just making sure like when you get weak, you have that chance to survive. And then this one, giving your skill more duration, is so fantastic. I can't say it enough. Duration is so good on Luna. It's just as good on Luna as it is on Serena. So keeping that duration up is so key, and I think it is so fabulous just to be having that. Enhanced rounds, from what I can tell, does not proc, and these do not activate from the unique weapon. Otherwise, I would have them on. If you find differently, please let me know. But from now, I don't find it. So just going to slide over here for a second. So if you want to screenshot that, just in case my head was in the way of anything, that is where you are going to be for your Inversion Reinforcement. With your Reactor, you're going to want that Materialized Mechanics, that Tech non-attribute, going for that Tech skill power boost ratio and that crit damage boost ratio. You don't really need that cooldown, which is fantastic. You just get to pump it all into damage, so high crit damage. And that Tech, you don't have it in your module, so getting it here and on the trigger module is so key. Then I tried some things with fire rate and stuff. This was the Enlightened Mage, just making sure you get that truth up to 3 stacks and you keep it up as long as you can. It will automatically go down sometimes. I'm not sure how to keep it up fully because like shooting the gun doesn't bring it up, but tapping your abilities after so long, it does like uncool them down. So then you get it. And then you want to have that 15 seconds of duration, have it up, and then just get it going right away by tapping all 3, making sure it's at 3 all the time because it drastically increases your damage. So on this one, for my mobbing build, I'm just using some of the ones that the same of the things that I'm using for Stormhanger. So it has electric resistance. If you want to go all max HP, mix up resistance, but all max HP and defense is going to be great for mobbing on the top 2 rolls. The bottom 2 rolls, max HP and MP recovery is going to be great. Then max MP and MP recovery and compact, fantastic. MP recovery modifier or defense, if you're hitting all your shots, gold is what I like to use on my mobbing ones, but you can put any combination here. And then max shield and equipment drop rate are my favorite for my mobbing builds, just so I can collect that loot, baby. All right, after that, let's go ahead and talk about our Arche Tuning right here. Oh, I have it turned off right now, but we're gonna activate. So I've tested a few things here. While I'm out mobbing, I just like that Arche maximization for that skill crit rate, just increasing it. With this on, your crit rate gets to be about 60% instead of that base 50 when this is active. So it's the difference of 10% crit rate overall. So that extra crit when you're basing a lot of your build off of crit damage. Super effective. I think it's great. The other one that you could put is the Arche Chain Catalyst. This one does massive non-attribute resistance reduction, so that makes your attacks hit way harder. But this is going to be your mobbing build right here. So screenshot this. You get that crit rate. You want the crit rate. You want the duration. You want the range. So that way when you're hitting your fever time, you're doing even more AoE damage in front of you. So fantastic. It's so great when a Descendant kind of benefits from so much because you can kind of maximize every little inch of this board. And that is just what Ultimate Luna does. All right, you guys, that is going to be it for the build. I'm not going to do any specific showcase or anything like that today, just because I don't, like I have some, but it's just, this is the base build. I will be doing a Stormhanger build, and then I will also be doing a Purge Challenge build and some more stuff with Ultimate Luna, so I will use all my showcases then. But for now, here it is, you guys. Slay away. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.